ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। What we'll be speaking today is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. What is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita? It's important for us to understand what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is a topic where Christians generally have like a Bible. Muslims have their Quran, right? And can we say we have follower of one book, and what is that book? Sanatana Dharma mein. What is that book? It's a Bhagavad Gita. So it's important for us to understand what is the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, how the Bhagavad Gita has to be studied. So let's understand this. How do we gain the information? By listening. Okay. What else? Reading and listening, one and the same, almost the same. Seeing, yes. Testing, okay. Feeling means how do you feel? Okay. By touch, okay. By touch, by testing, and one more. Yeah, that's what it is remaining, right? So, so these are the various ways we do it, right? Reading involves actually seeing, right? Observing, right? Experiencing in the sense smelling, touching, right? So basically, all this corresponds to the 5 Gyanendriyas, right? 5 Gyanendriyas: ears, eyes, touch, smell, and taste, tongue. So these are the Gyanendriyas by which we acquire the knowledge, right? So oftentimes, specific kind of knowledge can be gathered by certain sense, by any of these sense, certain kind of knowledge, right? So can I understand? So we have conducted this exercise earlier also, right? So I have to understand about the Rohan. I have to gain the knowledge about the Rohan. Just by observing through the 5 senses, Gyanendriyas, can I get information about him? We cannot get information about him just by by these 5 senses putting on the Rohan. Now what should I do then? The scope of these 5 Gyanendriyas, when seeing, observing, or touching, or smelling, or hearing, is very much limited, right? So even the scope, it cannot answer even the basic things. It cannot answer. Even medical science is not able to understand the question of our life, what the life is all about, why life exists, what is its purpose. Can it understand through these five senses? It can understand. So it has a lot of limitations, and therefore we cannot answer all the questions of life, right? So when we want to explore the knowledge which is beyond the range of the sense perception, we need another means, authoritative way, hearing from somebody. That's called as Shabda Praman. If I want to know about the Rohan, I may just looking at him, observing at him, touching, smelling, or whatsoever. I can understand few things, but cannot understand everything about him. Best way is I ask Rohan, what are your likings? What do you like of food? Right? Which Vaishnav song you like? Right? Uh, who is your favorite speaker? Right? So all that knowledge, I can go on speculating or guessing, but it will not make sense. If I go and ask him, that makes total sense. Right? So Shabda Praman, how do we gain the information is by the authoritative hearing. That's the only way. And the Vedas means to hear that if you want to know the absolute truth, then you have to go to the Vedas. They are the authoritative way of knowing things, right? Veda itself, the meaning of Veda means what? In Bhagavad Gita, many times the Veda comes. So Veda means knowledge. Veda means knowledge. So Vedic scriptures have how many verses? Lakhs of verses. Lakhs of verses. If you have to understand that knowledge, equal to, so Vedic knowledge was taken by Vyasadev and he formatted that knowledge into the four parts, right? Four main Vedas, and then further the Upanishads, and then further on Puranas and so on and Samhitas and so on and so forth, right? So such a vast level of Vedic knowledge is available, right? And it is preserved. But we are Kali Yuga souls. Will we be able to understand 1 lakh verses? Very difficult for us, right? So the qualification of Kali Yuga souls are, it is Prayana Alpa. I will come to that. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is actually the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. Puts into the nutshell, like the sutra format. And that's the importance of Bhagavad Gita in Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita is like that essence of all the Vedas put together, right? Like you have a lot many theorems in a physics or sometimes in mathematics. But what is the outcome of it is some formula or some equation, right? And that equations are put together into a formula book. You have to remember the formula book, isn't it? So that's like a Bhagavad Gita. It gives in a nutshell what is required for us to execute the life, and practical spirituality is being given into Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic scriptures. Okay. So scriptures are like a Vedas, Upanishads, Samhitas. Volume is too much, right? Just by seeing even Bhagavad Gita, people say, "My God, itna bada book hai." If they show him the whole Bhagavad Gita, then they understand. So there is a, jackfruit, panas. देखा आप सबने कभी कट किया जैकफ्रूट को? कट किया है. जैकफ्रूट को जब कट करते हैं, it is become very so sticky substance रहता है, right? To remove the jackfruit out of it, then separate the seed, then separate the pulp, and that pulp has to be taken properly. You have to apply, before doing all these things, you have to apply the oil so that it doesn't stick to your hand, and sometimes it becomes sticky. That's a difficult. Even वो जब चाकू भी अगर सूख जाता है ना वो, so it becomes very, and then you take out the pulp, and then you cook it, and then you make a paisam, jackfruit paisam, kheer, jackfruit kheer, right? And you serve somebody, and says, "This is a jackfruit paisam." He says, "No. I want the original jackfruit. I want to see the original jackfruit. I want to eat the original jackfruit." He says, "Baba, I have worked hard to take out that panas from the tree, right? Then cut it, then take the after cutting and taking that pulp out, and that essence of that all this work is this paisam, jackfruit paisam. Right? That's it. That's it. So that's the jackfruit paisam. So essence is what we are interested into, right? है ना? Essence, है ना? So this is the essence of the Vedic scripture. Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all the Vedic knowledge, or for that matter, the knowledge of the whole world. What is useful for our life is into the Vedas, and that can be talked about in the Bhagavad Gita. How Bhagavad Gita is glorified? So in the Bhagavad Gita, Mahatma, it says, Maline mochanam pumsam and jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gitamrita snanam samsara malanashanam. Can somebody read the translation? Yeah.
One may take himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once, the sacred community water of Bhagavad Gita. From it, the dirt of material life is all into the vanquished.
Okay, so he says, see, just understand, the world around is like has a lot of cutthroat competition. For what? For their own survival and for their own enjoyment. Right? You are seeing that, right? Cutthroat competition is there. How I can grab that job, how I can get that more money, how can I get more business, right? It's a cutthroat competition, and for the enjoyment also. You know, the last discount, right? Last day for the discount and last day for this, enjoyment. So when somebody is struggling so hard for this cutthroat competition, until that inner environment is get affected. Outer तो होता ही है, पर inner भी होता है. Inner कैसे होता है? Because it get attacked by lust, anger, and greed, right? Because of this thing, and that leads to the exploitation. That leads to the quarrel. That leads to harming oneself and others, isn't it? So these get disturbed because the world around us is cutthroat competition. The resources are less, and people are fighting so much for it, right? So study of Bhagavad Gita is very special. Why? So when we one may study any book, or that matter any novel, but can those books assure you of purification? Purifying from what? The same phenomena, lust, anger, greed. That internal environment is totally polluted, right? So, like a Ganga can purify somebody of sinful contamination. We go and take bath in a Ganga, right? This is, as like this verse says, in the sacred Ganges water, when one take a bath, it is removed. He is cleansed, right? He's cleansed of everything. Same way, that Ganga is compared to the Bhagavad Gita. If somebody take a bath in the Bhagavad Gita, that means what? That means what? Reading Bhagavad Gita, applying Bhagavad Gita in one's life, then what will happen? The material, the dirt of all the material life will be vanquished, right? It will be gone. So this is very important for us, that as a Ganga purifies of the sinful contamination, same way Gita will purify us of all the nonsense things, right? So not just this, even the modern man, because they face this cutthroat competition, there is so much of disturbance in their heart, right? And that's the reason they are also looking for that inner sanctity, stabilizing their inner environment. And that's why they are appreciating even Bhagavad Gita, because while applying that, they are finding the good benefit of it. I mean, the great scientists like which are Einstein and Oppenheimer, they have also philosophers, the great world leaders like Gandhi or Mandela, right? Many other world leaders, they have also chosen. Recently, Narendra Modi is giving this Bhagavad Gita. He was giving this Bhagavad Gita, and we have seen those videos of Tulsi Gabbard, right? And so many others are so appreciative about this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, right? Bhagavad Gita is a very authentic literature which will free us from all the sufferings of life, even the modern sufferings of our life, right? If somebody follows his instructions properly. And Bhagavad Gita is one of the most commented book of the world. Hmm? Every word of Bhagavad Gita, that's a word of Lord Shri Krishna, is so powerful. It is still being studied and studied by so many management gurus and deriving such a wonderful principles in their life. So that's the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. What do they talk more about the Bhagavad Gita? So this is a wonderful shloka. Can you repeat after me? I'll say it, you can repeat. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Dokta Gopal Nandana. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Duktam Gitamritam Mahat. Duktam Gitamritam Mahat. कौन बोलेगा ना देखते हुए? Not so soon, okay. But you can try it. Okay, you can try it later. Okay. What does this say? Sarva Upanishado Gavo. Sab Upanishado ka, Sab Upanishad ka Gavo. If all these Upanishads, all the knowledge, right, is compared to the cow, cow, cow matlab cow, right? If that is a cow, Dogdha, Gopal Nandana. So what is the milk is? See, what is the essence of cow? Milk, right? So what is the milk is? Essence of all these Upanishads is what? Exactly. So the milk is like the Gita, the essence of cow, right? The essence of all Upanishads is Gita, right? Dogdha Gopalanana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Partho Vatsa. Partha is what? Arjun. Sudhir Bhokta. Arjun is like that calf, right? Sudhir Bhokta. Sudhir means? Huh? Sudhir means who is a relishing. Sudhir Bhokta, who want to relish, Bhokta, who is going to bring this, like a Arjun is a calf. As soon as the calf comes, what happens? Milk starts dripping from the udder of cow, right? So that milk, which is Bhagavad Gita, which is flown to Arjuna by whom? Dogdha Gopal Nandana. Who is the Dogdha? Milkman. Gopal Nandana. Who? Lord Shri Krishna. Lord Shri Krishna is a cowherd boy. He is milking the cow, right? And one side, Arjuna is licking it, sucking it, that cow. That's a Gita. And Lord Shri Krishna is giving this knowledge in terms of giving Arjuna, in terms giving to Arjuna, it is giving to all of us, right? So we are also Sudhira Bhokta. If we follow Arjuna, then we'll also get the benefit out of this Bhagavad Gita, isn't it? So essence of all the Vedas, we can not study all the Vedas, but we have this essence available, right? So this is being talked about. Okay. Another shloka. So Gita Mahatmya. We'll repeat. Okay. Ekam Shastra Devaki Putra Geetam.
Ekam Shastra Devaki Putra Geetam.
Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva.
Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva.
Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani.
Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani.
Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva.
Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva.
What is this? Ekam Shastra Devaki Putra Geetam. एक ही शास्त्र है. The topmost, the supreme shastra is Ekam Shastra Devaki Putra Geetam. Who is Devaki Putra? Krishna. Krishna's Gita, right? Bhagavad Gita. That's the only one Bhagavad. That's a supreme. Eko Devo Devaki Nanda Devaki Putra Eva. There's a one supreme God who is Devaki Putra. That's the Lord Shri Krishna. Eko mantra tasya namani yani. Ek mantra hai supreme. What is that? His holy name, namani yani. His holy name is the greatest of mantra. Karma pi ekam tasya devasya seva. What is the greatest karma? What is the greatest work? What is the greatest welfare work is devasya seva. Serving that supreme Lord. Right? That's the greatest thing. Right? There are many innumerable literatures available. एक किंग सर्कल पे जाओगे ना, वहां पे बहुत सारे लिटरेचर बेचते हैं, right? Even the newest novel they will give you at the lowest price, right? है ना? So, but all there's such an innumerable knowledge. The libraries are filled with so many books, so many categories. But one literature that is the greatest literature, that is the Bhagavad Gita, right? And ultimately, Param Purushottam is a Purna Purushottam is a Lord Shri Krishna, right? And his mantra, his holy name, that's what? Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That's the greatest. And the act of his serving him is that's called as devotion service. That's the greatest. But in Kali Yuga, so why we have to study Bhagavad Gita? Because in Kali Yuga, people are short-lived. So there is a wonderful shloka that comes in the Bhagavatam. The first chapter of Bhagavatam, it talks about what is the Kali Yuga souls are. It talks about good qualities of Kali Yuga. What are the good qualities of Kali Yuga? Prayena alpa ayusha. Prayena alpa ayusha sabhyo kalo asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagyahi upadrita. अच्छा लगता है ना? Those of you don't know, Prayena Alpa Ayusha. Alpa Ayusha. They are short-lived. Right? देखा पहले जमाने के लोग 90s 100s तक जीते थे, right? अभी 30-40 के बाद सबका लाइफ डगमगने लग गया, है ना? है कि नहीं? 30-40 के बाद ही प्रायेण अल्पा आयुष्य सभ्य कलो अस्मिन् युगे जना. कलयुग में क्या क्या है? मंद सुमंद मतयो. मंद is they are lazy. है कि नहीं? Lazy है ना? Everybody wants comfort. They don't want to. Earlier, if you see your previous people, they were so hardworking and so vigorous. But now people just want. जैसे एक weekend आया, they just want to be cozy, है ना? So short-lived, lazy, and sumanda matayo. That means they are misguided and unlucky, and manda bhagya hi upadrata. Upadrata, they are always disturbed. They are always in anxiety, है ना? ये कलयुग के लक्षण है. कलयुग में you will find it this only, right? And their memory power is also reduced. Earlier people used to remember the contact numbers, but now even their cousins they have to search into their mobile, right? That's how. The more we are advancing, the more it is showing to us that we are having so many defects, right? So in the Kali Yuga, with such a defects, we cannot surely learn Vedas, right? So we have a Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all Vedic literature that we should study. Okay. And here is a quiz for all of you. You have to match it. Now, one match, so one can be matched to the many others. Okay? And for something, you will not find any match. So start with the Upanishads and go to the pure devotees. Okay? Start with the Upanishads and go to the pure devotees, 1 to 8, and corresponding to it. Shall we take one by one? Okay, let's start. Upanishads. Can you find any match? No? Sure? Vidhan, did I take this subject earlier? You are so quick to respond to our thought. Okay. Okay, Upanishad, actually there is no match. You have to raise your hand. So, Bhagavad Gita, what's the match? Raise your hand, please. Yes. Ah, Ganges water. Okay. That's all. Eka Shastra. No. Ekam Shastra. Bhagavad Gita is Eka Shastra. Mantra is different thing, na? Third is Lord Shri Krishna. Yeah, Vedant. Cowherd boy and Eko Devo. Right. Very good. Okay. Arjuna. Calf. Good. Fifth, learned scholars. Raise your hand. Ah, mean to drink the milk, right? Sudhir Bhokta. Remember Sudhir Bhokta? Sudhir is actually learned scholars who are very, the intelligent is guided, sharp. Now, people consider sharp people are those who are scientists or technologists. But if they cannot understand a simple label which is on the cigarette pack, right? What is the point? Cigarette pack पे जो लिखा है, क्या लिखा रहता है? हर्षित? Injurious to the health. Okay. With the pictorial information, but they cannot understand this. Does that mean they are intelligent? Actually, they are not intelligent. So, okay, learned scholars. Sixth is Hare Krishna mantra. Eko mantra, right? Devotional service. Karma pi ekam. Yes. And pure devotees. Yes, meant to drink milk. Again, yes. Sudhir Bhokta. Wonderful. So, the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is well known. Although Bhagavad Gita is well known, only one who has taken up to the spirit of devotion can understand it. Spirit of devotion can understand it. What does it mean? Actually, Bhagavad Gita is not a mythological book spoken by somebody, a mortal being. Mortal means like us who can die, right? It is spoken by whom? Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has spoken this Bhagavad Gita, right? With a mature voice of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Who is eternal, who is timeless, right? Shri Krishna, who is addressed as the what? In Bhagavad Gita, is addressed as the Bhagavan. Bhagavan means all? Okay, all attractive. Bhagavan means Parashar Muni ka definition. What is the definition of Parashar Muni? We have taken this. Exactly. Who said that? Okay, very good, Arvind. Six opulences. What are the six opulences? Huh? नहीं, name fame तो एक ही हो गया ना? हाँ, okay. He's all famous, all wealthy, all powerful, all beautiful. Renunciation, very good. All renunciation, all knowledges, right? And that's the six opulences of the Bhagavan. That's called as the Bhagavan, right? So he is a Bhagavan, right? So many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita are being written. And when Srila Prabhupada was in USA, there have been so many commentaries of Bhagavad Gita are just dusting in the libraries. बहुत सारे commentaries पहले से थे Bhagavad Gita के. When Srila Prabhupada wrote Bhagavad Gita, and when he wrote it, published it, within the 4 years, Americans started reading that Bhagavad Gita, following that Bhagavad, not just reading, following that Bhagavad Gita, and they turn into, from their Western lifestyle, they turn into wearing tilak, wearing kanthimala, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, gave up all their nonsensical, impure habits, right? Like eating a cow flesh and drinking wine and so on and so forth, right? These boys, American boys, hippies, they were rejected by societies. They were in the one Bowery area where all the hippies used to stay. How? Sometimes they were just lying on the roads, right? Just like that. Right? All these hippies, when they came across Srila Prabhupada and they took up Bhagavad Gita, applied that Bhagavad Gita in their life. From the hippies, they became happies. They became such a happy people, understanding the goal of life. So once George Harrison, so that was the Bhagavad Gita, transformation of Bhagavad Gita. When we understand the right commentary of Bhagavad Gita, it brings about such a change. George Harrison, once he asked Sri Prabhupada, what is special about this Bhagavad Gita, what you have written? Bhagavad Gita as it is. Prabhupada's commentary. Prabhupada said, so if somebody studies Bhagavad Gita, he should become what? What should be the goal of Bhagavad Gita? He should become the lover of Krishna, right? Lover of Krishna means he should serve Krishna, right? There are so many edition of Bhagavad Gita available, right? But could they bring about the transformation? Hardly anything, right? So devotees started following the Bhagavad Gita and seeing such a transformation into their heart, right? They have awakened that devotion, right? And not just in India, but it awakened into USA, even into the Islamic countries, Arabian countries, in the communist countries like China and Russia, everywhere, right? And that's what it means. Bhagavad Gita is a science. It has proven that it can bring about a transformation any part of the world, right? Because H2 plus O that gives rise to water. That doesn't hold only in a chemical laboratory or in India. It holds everywhere, right? That's a science, right? That Bhagavad Gita has gone such a transformation. It's not just for the Hindu people. It is for the everybody who has a soul, who is in the human form of life. It's for them, right? And that have brought to the transformation. And that's why Bhagavad Gita is a science, right? So the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is most important for us to understand. The spirit of Bhagavad Gita is not memorizing the shlokas. तो बच्चे भी आते हैं ना 8-10 साल के स्कूल में कभी कंपटीशन होता है recite the verses of Sanskrit verses of Bhagavad Gita and they recites, right? It's good if they are reciting, right? At least वो बाबा ब्लैक शिप उससे तो अच्छा है कम से कम भगवद गीता के कुछ याद कर रहे हैं है ना अपना कल्चर याद कर रहे हैं but the most important spirit of Bhagavad Gita is to understand it, right? It's not a memorization but to understand the Bhagavad Gita. That's the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Understand it and apply it. By spirit of devotion one can understand it, right? So when you are reading a book, what does it mean? When you are reading a book by some author, means what? What exactly means? Sorry? Yes, listening to the authors. Okay. More something more? Okay, at least you are trying to understand what the author is saying. No, you will not follow your own thought process, right? You will not speculate. The author means that. Author is completely studied properly, right? So basically, reading a book means understanding the intention of the author. That's a critical point. That's a critical point. Reading a book means understanding the intention of author, right? If you are reading a book on a computer graphics and you are thinking of some Hollywood drama, right? Or you are thinking of some what I say. You are reading a computer graphics and book by a computer graphics, right? And if you are remembering your mathematics and you're trying to put your mathematical equations or putting a chemistry equation in a computer graphics, will it make sense? If you are reading a computer graphics, you understand what it means, right? What the author is intending to write there, what it means, what a theorem is writing, right? That's what it means. Bhagavad Gita, reading a Bhagavad Gita means you understand the intention of the author, who is Lord Shri Krishna. Vyasa is written, but who is the spoken is Lord Shri Krishna. You understand the intention, that means you understood that subject matter, right? Otherwise, Pura Mahabharat padke, there was that video. Mahabharat padne ka boलते हैं कि कंस को किसने मारा? तो कंस को मारा छोटा भीम. That's not the answer in that video that somebody gave. That doesn't make sense, you know. Actually, when we read the book, that means we should be conveyed what the author wants to say. That's more important. Okay. Now let's understand the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. You know, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling through South India, from Jagannath Puri, he was traveling to the South India. And the tour of South India, he came across uh, a Brahmana who was at a Ranga Kshetra, Sri Ranga Kshetra. How many have visited Sri Rangam? None of you. None of you. जाएंगे? प्लान करते हैं हमारे बकेट लिस्ट में. ठीक है? Srirangam. So Srirangam is a very wonderful place. It has a 7 boundaries. The whole town is into these boundaries of this temple, Srirangam temple. Very beautiful temple. So there is a Lord Sriranganath who is lying, who is like from this much. Our whole this room, this big Lord is lying, right? Srirangam, Lord Ranganath. So and there was one South Indian Brahmana. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there for Chaturmas, he stayed there in Srirangam. So there was one South Indian Brahmana who was not so literate. He didn't understand how to read so much of Sanskrit. He was every day reading their Bhagavad Gita. And he was not able to pronounce the shlokas properly. And the neighboring people who are like passing by him, they used to laugh at him, they used to make a fun of him, right? And but he did not bother about what the people are talking about him. He just went on continuing reading. And that's time when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw that Brahman and asked, because he saw that he was actually taking so much happy while he was reading Bhagavad Gita. So he asked, my dear sir, why are you in such a ecstatic love? Which portion of Bhagavad Gita gives you such a transcendental pleasure? Okay. Rohan, can you read? What does the Brahmana reply?
My Lord, I am not very learned and therefore do not know the meaning of the word. Sometimes I read Bhagavad Gita correctly and sometimes incorrectly. But in any case, I continue with my education because it is the order of my spiritual master.
Because my spiritual master has ordered me, and that's why I'm reading it. So I'll come back to this. But Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, interestingly, he saw the tears coming out of this Brahmana, right? He was crying while he was reading. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but I see the tears coming from your eyes, and your eyes are so charming, right? What is the cause? What is that is so much affected you? And that Brahmana said, as soon as I start reading Bhagavad Gita, I remember that picture of Lord where he is becoming the charioteer, driver to Arjuna, right? So, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, is become a Arjuna's driver. Partha Sakha is one of the names is Partha Sakha, right? So he's become a chariot. How great that Lord is out of love for his devotees. Bhakta Vatsala Lord. Is it? Bhakta Vatsala Lord that for his devotee he can do anything out of the love for him, right? And that's what makes me cry, right? And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, you have actually understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? That essence of Bhagavad Gita is the Lord is so loving, Lord is so Bhakta Vatsal to his devotees, whoever rendered devotional service unto him is so grateful, right? So, but whereas we see the other classes, it's called as Mayavadi class. What the Mayavadi class? The Mayavadis are the persons who consider the form of Lord Krishna to be Maya or made of material elements. They don't take Lord Shri Krishna as a Supreme Lord, but they consider him as any ordinary personality, right? Out of envy, they deny the Satchidananda, the spiritual form of the Lord, right? So, the Mayavadis, when they comment about Bhagavad Gita, they keep Krishna and Arjuna aside. And what they say? They ignore the speaker of Bhagavad Gita and the hearer of Bhagavad Gita, and they give their own concocted idea. They give their own concocted idea. What's the concocted idea? Five Pandavas are like five senses, right? ये कुरुक्षेत्र क्या है? ये कुरुक्षेत्र एक तुम्हारा शरीर है. Something allegorical they make this kind of things, right? Something they make out of this thing, right? And or otherwise they try to read Bhagavad Gita in a very scholarship way. Scholarship way means trying to read out of the Sanskrit meaning and exactly what does that Sanskrit means exactly, right? But that is not a spirit of Bhagavad Gita, right? So this is not the goal to serve the okay. So when this he said, Brahmana said, I am ready for the order of my spiritual master, right? It is not by erudite scholarship, by gaining us some scholarship, we can understand Bhagavad Gita, but only with the faith and devotion we can understand Bhagavad Gita. So he had a faith and devotion on his spiritual master, right? It says, Yasya Deve Para Bhakti. So only unto the great souls who have implicit faith in the Lord and the spiritual master, right, are the Vedic imports, are the imports of all the Vedic knowledge automatically will be revealed to them. That's the shloka from Upanishads, right? Those who have faith into the Lord and the spiritual master, the implicit imports of all the Vedic knowledge will be revealed onto them. And that's what happened with this Brahmana who was revealed the essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? For others, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge will be locked. The essence of Bhagavad Gita is confidential. Raja Vidya, Raj Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Raj Guhya मतलब क्या? Raj Guhya मतलब क्या? Secret, right? It's the topmost secret. So message of Bhagavad Gita will be a confidential, secret ही रहेगा उनके लिए, किनके लिए? And will remain hidden from the mundane scholars. वो इस प्रकार जैसा हनी बॉटल को अगर बाहर से लीक करोगे आप तो आपको हनी समझ में आएगा क्या टेस्ट है हनी का. Exactly that's what the scholarship calls. The scholars who are trying to read Bhagavad Gita, right, from the scholarly way, from the academically way, they cannot understand Bhagavad Gita because they are testing it from outside, right? You have to apply it in your life to understand. Like Lord Srila Prabhupada was, when he came to know, there was an USA who is studying one of our acharyas, Jiva Goswami. After the 6 Goswami, Jiva Goswami's book. He is doing a PhD on a Jiva Goswami's book. So Prabhupada sent one of his disciples to meet him in the USA. As he entered his house, he welcomed him, right? And he asked for, will you like to have a tea? And he was smoking a cigarette. This professor, right? Means what? Actually, he is studying the Jiva Goswami's book just for the scholarship and academic purpose, but not applying for himself, right? Not applying for himself. As like these doctors who take the patients for information रहते हैं ना starting में, है ना? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you have this? Do you have this? Right? Because if somebody is smoking or drinking, it affects their medical treatments, right? It really affects their medical treatment, and they know, all the doctors know. But after taking a break from their medical profession, what they do? Go by nearby, क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Tapri, right? And they smoke cigarette. That means they have not understood the essence of medical practice. They themselves know how it destroys, right? But they themselves are destroying themselves. They didn't understand. So this is what it means they don't put this knowledge into themselves. So no matter how much one is well versed with the computer software, computer में बहुत अच्छा है तुम, but still if you don't know the password, can you do something? Right? Exactly. To understand the Bhagavad Gita, the key, the password is devotion, right? You apply what is Bhagavad Gita spoken, and then you can understand Bhagavad Gita, not just by the letter by letter. You cannot understand Bhagavad Gita that way. Understand the point? Yes. So, so what is the essence? Is the love. The last word in the transcendence is a love. Love is a supreme. Okay, that's the highest. And opposite of love is what? Hate, envy, right? Envy. Isn't it? So let's say there's one shopkeeper, right? And you go to that shop and you ask for, okay, what does this mobile, do you have this mobile cover of iPhone 14 or this? He says, he shows you. He says, no, I want something with a pink color or something like that. He says, then he turns towards his assistant and says, अच्छा बेटा वो वाला iPhone 14 का वो पिंक वाला है ना वो गोडाउन से लेके आना ठीक है and he goes and comes back within a few minutes, but that was a secret language that shop owner says to his assistant. What is it? Go by neighboring shop, take it from it, add our own commission and sell it. है ना? So this is it, right? So Krishna gives that most confidential knowledge, Guhyatama, right? That Guhyatama knowledge, right? Guhyatara Guhyatama. Guhyatara Guhyatama. Good, better, best. Confidential, more confidential, most confidential. Guhyatama. That Guhyatama knowledge, you have to understand, then what you should be, he says the qualification. Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Rahasyam iti uttamam. So Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. If you have to understand this rahasya, this confidential knowledge, then what you should do? You should be not envious. You should not be envious, right? You should not envy whom? The Lord Shri Krishna, right? Okay. Krishna is not, Arjuna is not envious because um, when Lord Shri Krishna spoke about the knowledge about himself, right? Lord Shri Krishna spoke about knowledge about himself in Bhagavad Gita, right? So, was Arjuna feeling envious? No, because he was his friend. He was non-envious. Huh? So that is a position for us to understand, right? So let's say you buy a car, okay? So people may appreciate this on your face. Acha kar liya, right? But in the heart of heart, they're burning with the envy, right? That's what the modern people are, isn't it? Yes. So there is an external glorification, but inside they are burning. Why did he get a car? Why did he get that first in a scholarship? Why did I get? No, I can do more better than him, right? Something like that, right? So approach to Krishna or approach to Bhagavad Gita has to be with a non-envious heart, right? We don't have to become competitor to the God, but cooperator with the God. How don't we become competitor? How we don't want to become competitor? I don't want to lord over the nature. I don't want to. I don't want to be the master competing with the God, but I become his cooperator. I cooperate with whatever the God is speaking. I don't compete with him, right? So that is important to serve him, right? So Loving God, right, is important. We should love God. That's the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Understanding His greatness. How can we learn the God? When will you love the God? When will you love or get attracted to somebody? When you know more about it. Know more about his bad qualities? Exactly. You get attracted by him when you hear his greatness. Right? When you hear his greatness, that means you don't feel envy about him. So that's what Lord Shri Krishna is speaking in Bhagavad Gita. So much of his greatness. So we should not become envious to the God. Right? We should be getting attracted to the God, not become envious to the God. That's a qualification. Okay. So, so we can understand Bhagavad Gita by this as like that Brahmana who was getting attracted to the Supreme God. He was like, feeling so much ecstatic emotions that how wonderful that God is, that who is acting as a driver, charioteer for his dear devotees. Right? Understanding the emotion. The approach of Bhagavad Gita is not in a scholarly way, but the approach of Bhagavad Gita is by a devotional way. Right? So, yes. Okay, let's do this activity. You have to fill in the gap between the A, B, C, D, E, F. Let's take the first one. Although Bhagavad Gita is well known, only one who has taken it up in the spirit of dash dash can understand it. Devotion. See, okay. Bhagavad Gita is not a dash dash treatise spoken by some dash dash. Mythological, and the third is mortal. Is not spoken by some mortal man, right? Okay. But it is the dash dash, timeless, mature voice of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Huh? Eternal, very good. Okay. Who is addressed as the dash dash? Bhagavan, the possessor of all six opulences, right? So Bhagavad Gita is not a mythological book. Bhagavad Gita talks about Kurukshetra. Bhagavad Gita is talking about the Pandavas. Bhagavad Gita is talking about the Krishna, who is a real personality, right? So we so Bhagavad Gita is not mythological. And how to understand Bhagavad Gita is by devotion. If we understand without devotion, then it becomes just a commotion. Okay. So let's go to this story. So once there was as the war was declared in the Kurukshetra, Mahabharat war, Duryodhana had sent a messenger to every part of the globe seeking the assistance that you become various kings, that you become my part into this Mahabharat war. Okay. But Krishna was so powerful that he warranted his personal request, and so when Duryodhana knew that Krishna is in much support of Pandavas, so but he wanted to get his assistance. Why he wanted to get his assistance? Because he knew Krishna has a Narayani Sena. That's like a very big Sena, Narayani Sena. He wanted that Sena, right? So Arjuna also thought of wanting Krishna. So actually, both of them they decided to go to the Dwarka, right? And both of them they reach. But Duryodhana just reached ahead. And first, he sits down near to the head of Krishna, right? And Arjuna come later. Arjuna sits near to the feet of Krishna, as as Lord Shri Krishna is lying on the bed, sleeping. Right? Can Krishna be sleeping? He is the Supreme Lord. He cannot be sleeping. He knows everything, right? So even his eyes are closed, but he is aware of everything. Okay. So as Lord Shri Krishna opens his eyes and he sees Arjuna is sitting, he asks Arjuna, how does it came? So he says, oh Lord, as the Mahabharata Yuddha is going to start, I am inviting you to come to my party. And there Duryodhana objects. But I have come first. You look at me as Krishna. Oh, Krishna says, okay, you have also come. He says, I have come first. So you should give me right. But Krishna says, but he's younger than you. You should get the first right. And Duryodhana was like, no, oh no, what will he ask? You know. And Arjuna asked, the surprise, what is the Arjuna asked? So Krishna puts a condition. He says, okay, I will participate, but I will not pick up any weapon. अगर आप fighting नहीं करेंगे तो क्या use है? That's what Duryodhana thought. I am more interested in do your Narayan Sena. Right? I'm not interested in you. So he says, okay. So he is given the chance to Arjuna, and Duryodhana was asking, will he ask for Narayan Sena? And Arjuna says, Lord, I want you. Krishna says, but I will not be picking up the weapon. He said, yes, whatsoever, I want you on my side. Right? I don't want that 1 million soldiers. And Duryodhana says, okay, anyways, Krishna, you have been taken by Arjuna, so I will take the Narayana Sena. So then as Arjuna goes, Duryodhana goes, Lord Shri Krishna asks, why did he choose me? You know, Krishna, Arjuna said, Krishna asked Arjuna. Arjuna says, Arjuna has understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita, right? So without any hesitation, Arjuna has chosen Krishna. So because he has a devotion to Krishna, whereas Duryodhana has a devotion to what? Where was devoted to? Because Arjuna was devoted to Krishna, Arjuna says, wherever Krishna you are there, there will be victory. That's the last verse of Bhagavad Gita. Even who says this? Sanjaya. Last verse of he says, wherever there is a archer like Arjuna and wherever there is a mystic yogi like Krishna, there will be victory for sure. There will be good fortune for sure. There is a proper morals for sure. So the point I was saying, yes, Arjuna said, wherever you are Krishna, there is a victory. So that's for guaranteed. And but Duryodhana was attracted to what? Duryodhana was attracted to the powers of Krishna. He was attracted to the energy of Krishna. He was not interested in Krishna, but energy of Krishna. Exactly the same way. That is the difference between Hanumanji and Ravana. Hanumanji was trying to serve Lord Ramachandra, right? He was serving Lord Ramachandra. On his order, he went to the Lanka. On his order, he found the Sita. But whereas what was the Ravana? He wanted the energy of Ram, that's the Sita. He wanted to enjoy Sita separately from Ramachandra, right? Isn't it? He was not interested in Ramachandra. Understand the point? So that's the Ravana mentality, right? You see, many times, even in Diwali, they worship Lakshmi, right? How Lakshmi? Standing, right? Gold coins throwing. Yes. So actually, Lakshmi, worshipping Lakshmi without Narayan is a Ravana mentality. You should worship Lakshmi Narayan, not only Lakshmi with the golden coins. Only that. That doesn't make sense. Fortune means along with the Narayan, right? Okay. So, whom, ask yourself, whom are we getting attracted to, Ravana or Hanumanji, right? So, okay, I will give you. Let's say, whom will you get attracted to? Someone who loves you, or just or the other person who is just interested, or is just flattering you because you are very rich, you have a lot of money, and that's why he's just flattering you. Will you get attracted to any? Who will you get attracted to? One who loves you or one who loves your pocket? One who loves you who you are, not because I'm rich, that's why loving me, not for them, right? You understand? Okay. Similarly, devotees like Hanumanji, are getting attracted to Lord Ramachandra and his services, whereas Ravana is just getting attracted to the energy of the Lord, that is Sita Devi. Okay, and they want to enjoy separately Sita, apart from the Ravana, Ramachandra. Okay, for such a demons, the kingdom of God, right, will not happen. They want the kingdom of God without the God. I will go and I want to rule the kingdom of God, right? So for them, there is a path of only destruction ahead, right? Hanumanji got attracted to the Lord Ramachandra. Ravana just wanted his energy of Lord Ramachandra, right? So Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti. Bhakto Sime Sakha Cheti. Sakha means friend who is a non-envious. Bhakti, that means devotion. That's what Arjuna had. Arjuna, you are my devotee and a friend, and thus I am teaching you the most confidential wisdom. Why this wisdom is given to you? The wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, because you are non-envious, right? So if somebody says, okay, okay, man, from where did you study? IIT Bombay, okay. So when he's saying IIT Bombay, am I feeling envious when I am hearing that? Right? So if I'm feeling envious, why he studied from IIT Bombay? Or is he proud of being IIT Bombay? When I see that he's a proud, that means somewhere envy is inside me also, right? So when Arjuna asked the question to Lord Shri Krishna, who is God? Krishna said, I am God. When Arjuna asked the question, from where this material world and spiritual and everything came from, Krishna showed, yes, from me all these things came about. His show is Vishwarupa Darshan, right? This Vishwarupa Darshan is shown. Krishna showed his mouth. From the mouth, all the Vishwas are there, right? So he proved he is a supreme personality by his act, by his words, right? Lord Shri Krishna. But even by saying that, if somebody is feeling envious, right, then he has not understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Okay, let's take the first one. Bee licking outside of honey bottle means what? Mundane scholars commenting on Bhagavad Gita. B is, I just dropped it. Third is opulence of renunciation. Opulence of renunciation, what Lord Sri Krishna shows. It correlates to Lord becoming servant of his devotee out of love. Yes. Fourth is thought makes me cry. Brahmana said this. Thought makes me cry. What thought? Partha Sarthi, Bhakta Vatsala. Right? Very good. Okay. Fifth is wherever you are, there will be victory. Arjuna is telling to Krishna. Sixth is kingdom of God without the God. Demon get attracted to the Lord's energy, like a Ravana, getting attracted to Sita Devi without the Ramachandra. The requirement for understanding Bhagavad Gita, what is the requirement for understanding Bhagavad Gita? Simple. You have to understand, like there are many people who says Bhagavad Gita is a symbolic. What Bhagavad Gita? Is it a symbolic? No, it is a real. Mahabharata had a real characters. Right? There is a Hastinapur, there is a Kurukshetra, right? They are real places, right? So mundane scholars just they speculate something and bring about something, right? They just speculate, right? So that's why we should be always be hearing from a bona fide sources. Huh? So how does a child know who is his father? Ask the mother. Same way, if you have to understand the absolute truth, how do you know? Ask the mother. Mother is Vedas, scripture. One should never twist the actual truth, trying out some allegorical meaning. Right? Like I said, people start speculating of what? five Pandavas are five Pandavas are like five senses, right? And Kurukshetra is this body, right? Something like this, right? But Krishna is the soul. Arjuna represents conditioned souls and something like this. So they have speculated so many things, right? There are hundreds of commentary available on Bhagavad Gita. They are just speculated commentaries. How should we judge what is the best commentary of Bhagavad Gita? If they have transformed the person, right? If they have transformed the person, that means a proper call. How do you judge that tree? That mango tree is a good tree? By eating the fruits, right? By the phala, you understand, you judge the tree. By tasting the fruit, you understand, you taste the tree. So if the tree is good and the fruit is tasty, that means that tree is good. So after reading that commentary of Bhagavad Gita, how much transformation people have got? That's more important. Reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. There are so many wonderful commentaries like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. There had been written such a wonderful commentaries. So these are all proper bona fide commentaries of Bhagavad Gita. Understand? Okay. And not the speculated commentaries. Okay. You know who is this? Is Bhagavad Gita mythology or a historical account? That Hindu mythology is the coined term by the Max Muller, who actually wanted to spread Christianity, right? And that's why he said all these scriptures, what is being spoken about is just a mythology, right? That he talked and he gave all the Sanskrit translation like that, and that's how this academically how they are being reading the Bhagavad Gita by that dictionary of Max Muller, how he translated, right? How will they understand Bhagavad Gita then? Because his purpose was totally different. Max Muller said, I don't want to go as a governor, sent by governor, but I will just leave the India for the 10 years, understand their culture, and then I can penetrate into that culture. And exactly, then we can rule over. If we understand their culture, then we twist it according to us by giving our education in their, by giving their education by our taste, our twisting, then we will be able to rule over. And that's how we have been conquered by these Britishers, by twisting so many meanings of our Vedas, right? By this Max Muller's dictionary. Because his objective was to spread the Christianity, to promote the Christianity, right? And to demean the Vedic literature. Agam, this literature Agama, that is, they are not concocted by any human brain, but is a word of God. The Quran, they not miss the goal of Bhagavad Gita by just capturing all these ideas. What is the goal of Bhagavad Gita? The goal of Bhagavad Gita is not to do any social service. The goal of Bhagavad Gita is not to do any of the rituals mechanically. But goal of Bhagavad Gita is to surrender, like Krishna said to Arjuna, to surrender unto me. What was the last verse, the essential verse of Bhagavad Gita? Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papepyo moksha ishyami ma shucha. Right? So he says, surrender unto me, I will take you back. Right? I'll take you back home, back to Godhead. Right? When you are, let's say, when you are caught in the ocean, what will you do? You are just caught in the ocean. Will you just, by so many oceanic waves are coming, will you just by your hand beat these oceanic waves? Or will you look for some facility to cross over the ocean? Right? Yes. So Krishna is saying this world is a ocean of a suffering, right? But if you surrender unto me, I will easily pick you up, right? And cross you of this ocean of the suffering, right? By our own, will not be able to cross over the ocean. Will we be? No, that's not possible, right? So, the goal of reading Bhagavad Gita is not to become scholar, but become the lover of God, right? Like Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like that Brahmana of a South Indian Brahmana. So that is the goal of a Bhagavad Gita. So, okay, what will you gain by becoming the lover of the God? क्या मिलेगा? I'll give you an example. Let's say your sister gets married, right? So what happens? She develops the affection for that man whom she is getting married. But in terms, because she is getting married to that man, okay, so what happens? She has to love all those family members, get connected in relation, right? So these two families are coming together. By what connection? Sister is getting married to that man. With that connection of man, his parents, that man's brother, sisters, they also get connected to the your sister, right? And in terms you, right? Isn't it? That means you have to respect them, you have to love them also, right? And that's how these two families come together, right? So here, that relation, sister and her husband, is a central figure. Same way, the central figure here is God. If we connect to the God, Vasudeva Kutumbakam, the whole earth, the whole universe can be Vasudeva Kutumbakam. You don't have to personally do the social service to everybody, right? But if you serve the God, if you love the God, you love the everybody. As like that sister starts loving to the husband, that means whomever is loving that husband, she loves them also, right? Isn't it? She starts serving them also. ऐसा नहीं ना जब वो sister married होके वहां पे जाएगी so she has to serve everybody because they are in relation with the husband, right? Isn't it? And that's how when we are serving God, right? That means we are serving everybody in relation with the God. Okay. So love God means loving all. That is the goal of a Bhagavad Gita. And that is the essential principle. The goal of Bhagavad Gita is to love the God, to develop the love and attraction for the God, and not just a scholarly understanding. We should not just go by the scholarly understanding of Bhagavad Gita, but with a devotional attitude. We should. But here, okay, so we'll stop here. There are a few things, but we'll take upon later. Any questions? Questions you can ask. Hmm? सोच रहे हो ओके गणेश क्वेश्चन ओके बोलो हर्षित क्या बोल रहे थे ओके ठीक है so what we'll do some theater and then we can pick up on some questions. Hare Krishna, Shri Prabhupada, Jai Gaura Bhakta.